Wonderful to see Farveez Maharoof, the Sri Lankan cricketer, somebody whose career we're no stranger to in India, considering he's been a thorn in our flesh on many an occasion. Wonderful to see you. I hope the family and you are safe and healthy, and you've got at least one vaccine, Farveez.
Good to see you, and thank you for having me. And yeah, vaccination wise, blessed with having the both. So I like to hope we are safe, but we are not. It's quite settled, the COVID and in Sri Lanka overall, but the concerns is still there. There have been some cases reporting, and it's been controlled for a certain extent. So I guess it's the same thing in all over.
Correct, you're true. But I'm glad that the family and you are doing well. Your 5 for 42 against India in the Asia Cup in Dambulla in 2010 is something Indian and Sri Lankan fans can never forget. Farveez, you got a young Virat Kohli, Ravindra Jadeja, and then cleaned up the Indian tail. And you guys won that match by 7 wickets. Sangha and Mahela batting beautifully. Your memories of that game, I'd like you to share it with us, please.
I think memories wise, what I won't forget is that was my comeback series after 1.5 years. In 2009, I got 2009 after the T20 World Cup in UK, I got dropped, and the entire 2009 I couldn't play. Entire 2010, the first half I couldn't play, and straight away I got an opportunity because of an injury to a certain player to come into the team. And 5 days into the leading into the Asia Cup, I trained in Dambulla, then played against Pakistan in the first game. Didn't have a good game. I was couldn't pick up any wickets. While batting, I got out cheaply. And the next game against Bangladesh, I was dropped. So a comeback series, getting dropped after one game is no fun. And just because we won the game against Pakistan and won against Bangladesh, and the third game was India, and two of our main bowlers were rested. So I got opportunity again. So that's how I came into the team. Then it gave me the extra motivation of doing somehow well, because I wanted to show what I could do for the team, and I could show what's been missing in that Sri Lankan team. So I ended up, as you said, picking up 5 wickets, picked up a hat trick. So probably the most memorable day in my cricket career.
I was a young Virat Kohli, Maharoof. We're talking about 10 years plus, but did you see signs of a little bit of the greatness to come?
Oh yeah, 2008 when I saw him, firstly during the Under-19 World Cup, the way he batted, the aggression, what he showed, I knew he would be a good player, but I never knew I never thought, I should say, he's going to be the player he is now. And even 2008, 9, 10, when we played against each other in the IPL, I managed to play against him, and we had some good battles. So we saw signs of a great player, especially because he was such a player. He's always into your face, in your eye. Normally you don't get that much in international cricket, but this guy wanted to do well. And also after a while, I think after 2011 or 12, the training regime he went into, it's just such an inspiration to anyone in the world. And he's just a run machine, and he's just a role model for everyone in the world.
And no mention of your career is complete without that day-night game in my city, in Mumbai, Sri Lanka versus the West Indies Champions Trophy. Sri Lanka winning by 9 wickets, a 6-wicket haul, 6 for 14. You got Lara, Hines, Samuel, Bravo, and a few others. Your defining memories of that game, and the most memorable wicket would be what, Farveez?
Definitely Brian Lara. I think that's the biggest fish you could ask for. The memory which carries on in Mumbai, the particular day, it was close to 40 odd degrees at the CCI. It was so hot, so warm. And that's a game where, I bowled well, and everything a bowler dreams of, everything worked out. So I got wickets, caught at various places, LBWs, ball reverse swung as well, and I got good control. And also the bowling lineup what we had Chamindavas, Lasit Maling at the new ball, then followed by myself and Dilara Fernando, and you had Muralidharan as the off spinner, and you got Sanath as the 6th bowler, and you had Dilshan as the 7th bowler. So it was a fantastic team, fantastic day, and especially in Mumbai, has a very close place in my heart for many reasons. So in the way I performed in Mumbai, and also that record is still the best bowling figures in ICC Champions Trophy from the beginning till date. So, the one of those days where, whatever I dreamt of in life just came true.
And then in 2007, you rip apart England 4 for 31. You also hit a quick-fire 22 in that. You must cherish that win too. Lanka won by 119 runs. And Farveez, you knocked off the top four in a four-wicket haul. Cook, Mustard, Bell, Peterson. That must have been very sweet.
I mean, that's the year I bowled. 2006 middle up to 2007. That was the 1.5 years, probably 2 years. That was my prime, and I ended up being in the ICC ODI team of the year 2007 and 8. I became the Asian one-day bowler of the year as well. So that was a prime where I was injury free and I was bowling well. I was bowling quick. I was bowling the ball. For many reasons, those 2 years has a special place in my career. And talking about that match was in Dambulla. Dambulla is a place I love to play. I have good records in Dambulla. I have good memories also playing in domestic cricket in Dambulla, because with the leg breeze it comes across, you could actually use that for your advantage by swinging or seaming the ball. So playing England in Sri Lanka is always a big series, and the way we played that game, the same bowling attack I just told you, which we played West Indies, and as you mentioned, that was a fantastic game which I bowled really well. I picked up 4 wickets.
Your time with the Delhi Daredevils in the first season of the IPL, did you have fun? It was a big carnival at that time. Now, of course, we've all got used to it. It's part of our life. But it was massive that first season. Just look back at that.
I reckon first 3 years of IPL, it had everything. You said carnival. I think it's more than a carnival. Then it just became cricket related, right? It just cricket from then onwards, probably 2011 onwards. The first 3 years I played, it was just having a good time, enjoying the cricket, enjoying each other's company in the dressing room, and also getting to know a lot of people, because it was open for the spectators as well. There used to be parties, this and that. So that IPL that time was far different to what I'm hearing nowadays. So talking about the first year of IPL, I had a great IPL. I think I'm still on top 5 when it comes to most economical bowler till date when it comes to IPL. So it shows the impact what I had for Delhi in the 3 years that I played for. So I reckon playing for IPL gave me that extra recognition in my career, I should say, and also financially, it took me on a personal note to another level. So thanks to IPL, I always keep saying it, India holds a close place to my heart. I love going to India. I have a lot of friends, and thanks to IPL, on a personal note, I live a decent life.
You made a comeback as recent as 5 years ago in 2016 in the national squad in the Tour de Ireland in England. Was that a surprise recall? Just tell me about your domestic cricket feats from 2012 till about 16, because if I remember correctly, you were dropped after the Asia Cup in Bangladesh, and then you make this comeback in 2016.
Yeah, to 2011-12 tour of Australia, where we played the Tri-Nation against Australia, India, and Sri Lanka. That was my comeback series again. I made so many comebacks, and I was selected because in the domestic circuit, I became the best batsman, the match series in the domestic tournament. So we went soon after the domestic tournament was over. Then comes Australian tour. I went on it. I think first 3 games I couldn't play, and the 4th game against Australia in Sydney, that was my comeback game. I reckon I bowled my quota of 9 overs, picked up 2 wickets, I just gave about 15 or 17 runs. So that was my another comeback game, and I ended up doing well. And I ended up playing the entire series, about 7 one-days. And then we went to straight from Australia, where we lost the three match finals to Australia. We lost it 2-1. Then we went to Asia Cup in Bangladesh. I played the 3 games against India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and we lost all 3, unfortunately. And I couldn't perform that well. And in that Asia Cup, my competitors that time, Tisera and Angelo, were not part of the team because of injury. So just because I couldn't perform well, I was dropped again. So after the Asia Cup, those two guys got fit and they came straight back to the team and they kept on playing. So I went back to domestic cricket. I kept on performing from that day onwards till about 2015. And again, 2015, I captained my domestic team. We ended up winning the one-day championship. I ended up becoming the man of the best bowler. So that was around December 2015. And come 2016 June, when we went on the England tour, after 6 months, I was given another chance. And for certain reasons, I just felt, being away from international cricket for 4 years, stayed away, coming to a high-profile, high-pressure series in England, that was a big challenge for me. And also being a senior player, the expectations are much higher. And I had to be from ball one, got to be able to perform. Where 2016, that series, first I played the first one game in Ireland, which I did well. And the first Sunday against England in Nottingham, where the game was tied, I did well again. But the rest of the games, I couldn't perform that much. And also during the first game in England, I broke my little finger and I was out of the tournament. And it was a fracture. I think, out for 6 weeks. And then at that time, the management spoke to me and said, being the senior player, they want me to somehow play because they need my experience. So, I couldn't even hold my bat properly, and I had to insert a small metal to keep my finger intact. And that's a sacrifice I did. But eventually, that too, I couldn't do well, and I came back to Sri Lanka. The management then spoke to me and said they're building up for the 2019 World Cup, and that I won't be considered for selection because at that time I was 32, and they thought that by 2019 I'll be 35, and I'll be too old for it. So they made it clear that they're not going to consider me for selection anymore. So it was something tough on me. I've played my whole life as professional, and it was some sort of a bit of a shock for me, and I took a little time to overcome it. But eventually life has to move on. And that time I was thinking, right, fine, if they take the chance, I need to move on as well. So I had a discussion with the cricket board at that time, and what they said was, we have invested you in so much in as a cricketer for you. We want you to continue playing first class cricket to uplift the game and guide the youngsters. So that itself for another motivation for me, because cricket has given me everything in life, from my wealth to health to everything, from my recognition. So I thought, right, that's a good motivation to have. Let me play domestic cricket and help out the youngsters, which is coming through. So I ended up playing domestic cricket from 2016, 17, 18 for 3 years. I knew was not going to play international cricket, but SLC wanted me to do it, and that was a request, and they gave me a contract as well for that. So they did everything in their power to make me feel good. So I finished the 2018 domestic tournament, the Mercantile tournament. Mercantile is that all the corporates play together,
Yeah.
and it's a very very competitive tournament. So the finals, T20, I was going through some injuries as well at that time. And 2018 around November, we played the finals, we won it, and I came home and I was feeling right. I was tired. I mean, I couldn't go again because I had so many injections just to be fit and be in the park with the injuries that I had, and that injuries has played a big part in my career. And then I came home, I spoke to my wife, I told her what exactly is in my mind. And I told her I would like to, my heart says carry on, my body says no, what do I do? So it was a collective decision, and I thought, right, I'll have to live on a high. The high was to win the Mercantile Championship, close game, won it for the company, and I just thought, right, that should be it. I'm just calling it a day. And following day itself, I wrote a mail to SLC, I wrote a mail to the club, all to the members. I just said, that's it. Farveez Maharoof is done as a professional cricketer.
That's a lovely nugget from your life. Now let's come to the India Tour of Sri Lanka. Watch the India Tour of Sri Lanka live on Sony 6 and Sony 10 1 channels in English, Sony 10 3 channels in Hindi, starting 13th of July, 1:30 in the afternoon, Indian Standard Time. Farveez, clearly the Sri Lanka squad is in a rebuilding phase. What do you think of the positives from the England tour? I know Dasun Shanaka batted well, Dushmanta Chamira bowled well, a 4-wicket haul in one of the T20s, and also a 3-wicket haul in one of the ODIs for him. Your thoughts on them and any other bright players we should look out for?
I think one in the Wasaranga you missed out there. He bowled pretty well in the entire tournament, and also little cameos, but he played as an all-rounder. So, I mean, to be honest, bowling side of things, I'm pretty happy about how they have performed. And leading up to the important series of India, you need bowlers to be in their peak, because we all know how strong the Indian batting lineup is. So I reckon, when it's got a bowling side of it, I think Sri Lanka is equipped to challenge the Indians. When it comes to batting, that's where the concern is. The batsmen have not been scoring runs, not only the England tour, probably before that as well. So it's not that good breeding leading up to important series like India, especially batting wise. But as I said before, it's everything to gain. I mean, definitely we will go as underdogs, and definitely India starts as a favorite. So sometimes being underdog is not that bad. I mean, you don't have much pressure to worry about. You just go out there, back yourself. So hopefully our guys will go out there, play the brand that the entire world knows, the Sri Lankan brand, and back ourselves. So all we could do is play some competitive cricket. And on a particular day, if everything goes well, I won't be surprised if we could surprise the Indians in 1 or 2 games.
Now, some of these boys must have grown up really admiring you. Did you get an opportunity to mentor any of them? Did some of them play with you at the club level or the domestic level? Have you kept a keen eye on any of them?
Yeah, I mean, most of them do speak to me whenever they want to speak about something technical part of it or mental part of it. So I'm a person. I'm very very open. I'm always there for the cricketers, because, as I said, cricket has given me everything in life, and I feel in whatever capacity I could give it back, that's my duty to do it. So I still keep in touch with most of them, and they talk to me a lot. And all I say is I give them the confidence. I sometimes a fast bowler speaks, I'll tell them a technical point of my view. And similarly, I've seen most of the players when they were growing up playing school cricket and domestic cricket. So they got the talent, they got the ability, just that they need to put everything together on a particular day international level. So the day they do it, I mean, these boys definitely can play well.
What do you think their plans will be against the explosive top order? I mean, we're talking Shikhar Dhawan, who's now captaining the side, maybe Prithvi Shaw, a lot of firepower at the top. What would you advise the bowlers to do, at least in the ODIs in the first 10 overs, to put pressure?
We always speak about playing against India, the new ball matters. Even nowadays, we always speak about picking up wickets. Well, we all know how good Indian batting lineup are up to the low order. So with the new ball, it matters a lot. You need to pick up at least a couple of wickets. If not, we know how strong the middle order is. So to put the breaks into the Indian bat lineup, the new ball matters, as well as be aggressive. Indians generally, when it comes to aggressive bowling, can be a bit vulnerable. So I reckon with the new ball, and whenever a fast bowler is bowling, have tight fields. Don't play for the name, play for the ball. You just have to give it to them. I mean, we understand there are big names, definitely, and world beaters as well. But cricket is a game. It's a matter of just one ball. It can change most of the things. So you just have to back yourself.
What do you think of our bowlers, India's bowlers? Bhuvneshwar Kumar comes in with a very, very wonderful reputation. He's a swing bowler. He's done so well in English conditions, and of course in India too.
Sorry, Adi, you broke. You broke off. Give me the question, please.
I want to talk about your thoughts on our prime bowlers, in particular Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. He's done very well for us even abroad in English conditions with the swinging ball, but the subcontinent is a whole different scheme of things. What do you think of our fast bowlers, in particular Bhuvi Kumar?
Yeah, Bhuvi is somebody who has established himself in all forms of the game. We've seen him in T20, we've seen him one days, we've seen him in patches in Test cricket as well. I mean, not surprisingly, I think he's the vice captain of the team. Is that correct?
Yes,
so
right.
Here we go. I mean, that's him. I mean, Bhuvi is somebody who's like a silent assassin. Now, I speak a lot to Muralidharan. Bhuvi plays for Sunrisers, and Murali talks a lot about Bhuvi being the person who's quite simple, quite silent. But when it comes to getting his work done, he knows what to get done. So Not surprisingly, he's the leader of the pack, and I'm pretty sure that the rest of the bowlers will be guided by Bhuvneshwar.
And do you like our spin attack? Do you like the new boys like Kuldeep and Chahal? You must have seen enough of them, even in the IPL.
Yeah, Kuldeep Yadav, then Yuzvendra Chahal, and also Rahul Chawar, the new leg spinner who plays for Mumbai Indians. So it's very formidable spin attack again. And you got Kunal Pandya, the experience. I mean, these fantastic names. They have proved themselves in IPL, most of them, and also the other bowlers such as Kuldeep and Yuzi have established themselves in international cricket when it comes to ODIs and T2. So formidable team when it comes to bowling lineup, as well as some experienced batsmen and some rookies coming through, while look much forward to players like Prateep Shaw and Surya Kumar Yadav, batting in Sri Lanka.
Is Sri Lankan cricket in safe hands, Farveez? Tom Moody is now Director of Cricket Operations. Aravinda De Silva is taking such an active interest again. Are you hopeful about the future of Sri Lankan cricket?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some of the big names have come across into a group, and they're trying to revamp the system. As you said, Tom, Aravinda, Murli, Roshan Mana, Kumar, Mahela, all these guys are in technical committee, as well as making the decisions for cricketing decisions, I should say, for SLC. So I reckon, when it comes to names wise, it's big. It's the best you could find for. And at the moment, as you said, it's a revamp going on. Lots of changes. New strategies been brought in. So the results won't show immediately. It'll take a little time. So we got to be a little bit patient. But saying that the entire world is watching, so this is not the first time being asked this question. Many ask where are the results. So I just keep on saying, when the changes happen, it'll take a little time to settle down, and the new players to know the system, to know the platform. So it will take a little time, but definitely got the right people at the right places.
My last question is about the Sri Lankan cricketer you grew up idolizing. I mean, I remember as a kid growing up listening to the radio commentary, Duleep Mendis, Ranjan Madugalle, Roy Dias, the Ratnayaka, Siddharth Vetimuni was the first one to hit 100 in Lords. So as a kid growing up, your big Sri Lankan hero, who is it?
I think when I was growing up, when I started when I was about 9 years old. There were many, but definitely Sanat Jayasuriya holds a special place because of the explosive batting what we had, and he changed the game, and he basically changed the game in the ODI. So he will definitely be one of the heroes that I look to. I mean, still there is one of my best friends, so somebody that I will look forward to associating with.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Sanath and Kaluvitarana used to come out and bat. My God, you didn't know what corners of the park the ball would disappear, at least in the first 10 overs. So great entertaining cricket, and thank you for providing so much joy for all cricket fans, Farveez, and enjoy the India tour of Sri Lanka as much as we'll enjoy it. Cheers.
Thank you, Hrishi. Hopefully, our boys will put up a good show, and we'll have a enjoyable series.
Thank you, Farveez. Cheers.